Hi and welcome to day 4 of our series of videos for Mental Health Awareness Week. My name's Alex. I work for Somerset Libraries as a Development Officer for Health and Wellbeing, and this week for Mental Health Awareness Week I have been doing a series of videos to guide you through some of the best resources out there to help support your mental health and your mental wellbeing. So if you haven't had a chance to look at any of the videos so far, what I've been doing is theming each video around a different element of 5 ways to wellbeing. So on Monday we did connecting, on Tuesday we did being active, on Wednesday we did taking notice, and today, Thursday, we're doing learning. So if you're not aware of the 5 ways to wellbeing, basically the New Economics Foundation did some research to find out what were the key elements to keeping our wellbeing positive and good, and they found that these 5 different elements were essential, and that if we kept these up, then it helped keep us mentally healthy and happy. So let's go on to today's theme of learning, which is a big one, and there are a lot of good resources for me to take you through. Okay, so learning is good for our well-being because it keeps our brain active, it keeps us busy, and it gives us a sense of achievement because we've learned something. And this really, it could be anything. It doesn't matter if Doris down the road is excellent at knitting, but actually you hate knitting. You just need to find something that interests you and that you can learn a little bit more about. And the choice is absolutely huge. And I suppose one of the nice things about being at home a lot is that we've got a lot more time to learn new things, especially if you've been furloughed or if you're not able to see your family as much. You've got more time to yourself, so more time to learn. Right, let's look at some of the main websites. So, as I said, there is an endless supply of good resources to help keeping us learning, and I could go on probably for an hour going through the different websites, but I've tried to limit it down to what I think are some of the best resources out there, and also ones that cover a wide range of different topics depending what your interests are. So some of the websites I'm going to be going through are the Open University, Allison, which is also a website that hosts courses, the BBC, our own resources within Somerset Libraries, the British Library, Duolingo, which is a languages app, and a couple of festivals which are on at the moment, which also give some extra opportunities for learning. Okay, so up first is the Open University. If you've never had a chance to explore the Open University, it is, I would say, an almost endless supply of different courses. Anything you're interested in, you can find on there. A lot of them are paid for courses and can lead to proper degrees. However, there are also a lot of really, really good free resources. So if this is the homepage, which is www.open.ac.uk, and if you click on here where it says news and free resources, it will take you through to this page where I've scrolled down a little bit to get to 2 sections. So the first is health and wellbeing. As it's Mental Health Awareness Week, it would be wrong for me not to point out these resources. A lot of really, really good stuff on here about looking after your own health and well-being, about looking after the health and well-being of your family, and also from a more scientific view, if that's your thing, just understanding how our brains work. So a lot of really good things there, but also you can see just at the bottom of that page it says free courses, and that will take you through to this page, which is OpenLearn. So OpenLearn is a section of Open University which is dedicated to free things, and it covers loads and loads of different subjects, and it also delivers it in a lot of different styles. So some of it might be a course, some might be a tutorial, some are videos. A lot of the content on there they have worked on with the BBC, so it might be stuff you've seen before, or presented by people you know, and it's really, really accessible. So often they're just very short courses or 10-minute chunks, and it really does cover everything. So that is a great place to start if you just fancy learning about something new, you don't really know what. Go to this website and just see what it takes you, see what takes your fancy. And I think there's probably enough on there to keep you busy for most of lockdown. So yes, I would really recommend the Open University website. Right, so next up is a website called Allison.com. This is a worldwide website, and so a lot of the content is slightly more angled towards an American audience, and some of the qualifications you get are kind of more American, I suppose. However, it covers a wider range of subjects probably than the Open University. So you might find that there's content on here that isn't on the Open University, or at least subjects on here that isn't on Open University. And again, it is all completely free. So if it's maybe a professional qualification or something like that that you want to up your knowledge on, then Allison.com might be a good place for you to start. And this is the homepage. You simply sign up for free, and you can find out all the different courses that they have. Okay, so next up, Duolingo. So if you've been thinking, all this free time in my hands, I would love to learn a language, I think Duolingo is probably the most reliable of the free services out there. So this is the website, but you can also download it as an app on your phone or tablet. It is completely free to use, and I think it covers pretty much every language out there, or at least the choice seems endless. And very simple to use. It's done in a fun way, so you sign up and it'll give you a challenge for 5 minutes a day. So and it covers spoken language as well as writing and reading. So yeah, a really good way of just learning a language in a fun way, and just with the odd 10 minutes you have in your day. So that is duolingo.com. Right, so now we're on to the BBC. So most of you will probably be aware that the BBC has done an amazing job of putting up loads of great content to help entertain as well as provide learning materials. So I'm just going to highlight some of the best stuff they've got out there to aid adult learning. So first up is their Sounds website. So you can either just go to bbc.co.uk and click on the Sounds tab at the top, or you can put in bbc.co.uk/sounds. And Sounds covers all their audio output. So if you are more of an audio learner, then this might be a good place for you to start learning. So as well as being where you would go if you just wanted to listen to one of the radio channels online, it also has a massive selection of shows that you can just listen to separately, so in their own entity. So this is the Sounds website at the moment, and you will see that they've helpfully done a specialist section on mental health for this week, and that covers a lot of different approaches. So that's what's great about the Sounds website. It's got something for everyone, different ages, different interests. So on mental health, they've got more sort of documentary style stuff that you might find on Radio 4, but they've also got ones that link it in with music, and they've also got ones that are aimed at the sort of younger, maybe Radio 1 audience. So a real range of stuff there. And then as far as topics that they cover, you'll see here down in categories, they've got all sorts. So they do have lots of documentaries and things like that, but They've got lots of comedy shows, they've got lots of sport, so many different things that you can learn about listening to one of their shows, as well as having content from their radio shows. It's also got podcasts on there. So if you're not familiar with podcasts, they're just standalone mini shows recorded just for audio listening, but they're not played on the radio. They're just there for you to download onto your phone or onto your iPod or whatever to listen to. So on the BBC Sounds website, you will also find podcasts on there. So those will be things that have been recorded just for the website rather than having been played on the radio. On that note, if you fancy giving podcasts a go, there are literally thousands, hundreds of thousands of them out there, covering every topic under the earth. The best way of finding them, to be honest, is if you just Google podcasts, and you'll find there's a load of different apps that you can download onto your phone or your tablet. Download an app, and then that will give you access to all the other podcasts, and you can just browse and find stuff that interests you, covering many different topics. And you'll find there's lots of people you're familiar with creating podcasts. So comedians often do it, ex-sports stars, things like that. So so that's the BBC Sounds website. Next on is the BBC Arts website. So again, you can either just click on the arts section at the top tab of the bbc.co.uk website, or it's bbc.co.uk/arts. And this is their homepage, and it covers lots of different content, including music, theatre, dance, literature, and visual arts. So if that's your kind of thing, you will find a lot of really interesting content on here. Again, it's both visual and audio content, and it's been aimed to sort of try to meet the interests of different ages and different learning styles. So some of it's quite formal, some of it's very informal. Again, really endless supply of content on here. Lots of things that you would never thought you might want to learn about, but you can do in here. Just whilst we're on this page, I also wanted to highlight at that top right corner, you can see it says books. I've just tried to highlight it, but it won't let me. If you click on that, there's loads of book suggestions and book recommendations. So if you are looking for your next book recommendation, that is quite a good place to start. And then finally, on the BBC content, we've got iPlayer. So again, many of you will already be familiar with BBC iPlayer as the part of BBC where you can rewatch TV. But if you weren't aware, I just wanted to highlight that there's now an archive section on there, which has content they've uploaded going back, 10, 20, 30 years. So it can be, a really interesting place to watch old documentaries. You can see, there's old Top of the Pops there. There's also old sort of Horizon and things like that. So if you fancy watching something from back in time, or going back and watching one of your old series, strictly speaking, not learning probably, but it can be eye-opening. So that's another place to explore some interesting content. Okay, so next I'm going to look at some of what we offer for Somerset Libraries. So in some of the other videos earlier on in the week, I covered accessing ebooks and also e-magazines. And there are a couple of other services I wanted to mention today. So if you go to the Libraries West homepage, which is www.librarieswest.org.uk, you will come to this section, which is list of the resources that we offer, and a few different learning opportunities here. So I have mentioned magazines before, but I'll mention it again. Here we go. Because the magazines cover lots and lots of different hobbies. So if you want to try a new hobby, you might find that our magazines are a good place to start. So we have all the most popular magazine titles. So they cover different types of crafting, photography, sport, gardening, baking, loads of stuff. So that can be a really good place to start learning about a new hobby if you fancy that. If you've not used our e-magazines before, just go to this page, click on there, and it will give you a guide of how to access them. And then I also wanted to mention Ancestry. So if anybody fancies using all this free time to research their family members, their ancestors, then you can get free access to Ancestry through your library membership. So again, just go to the Libraries West homepage, click on Ancestry, and it will show you how to access it for free. And yeah, hopefully you'll dig out some great stories about what your ancestors were up to in previous centuries. And then one more thing is a new service we're offering, which is Medici TV, which I've just highlighted there, which offers free access to films and videos of operas and ballets and that kind of theatre. So that is free to access via the Libraries West website, but I should highlight that we only have that until the 31st of May. So if you fancy taking a look at that, you best get in quick. So now I'm going to move on to the British Library. They do a lot of courses throughout the year, but they are doing a bit of sort of specialist online content at the moment. So if you go to their website, and at the top you'll see it says Discover and Learn, which I've just highlighted in yellow there. Hover over there and you get this drop down. And that shows some of the online content they've got. So you can see here they've got some online exhibitions. The children's books one is really cool and has lots of images of original illustrations and things like that from famous children's books. And then also on the left you'll see it says online resources, and if you click on there it brings you through to a range of learning resources around literature, history, sociology, religious studies, all centred around texts that they hold in the British Library. So that may be of some interest to some of you, I hope anyway. Okay. Right, so finally I just wanted to cover a couple of festivals that we are right in the middle of now, which are great learning opportunities. So first up is the Hay Festival, which has gone digital this year, which in a way is good because it means more of us can access it. So if you go to the Hay Festival website, you'll see this comes up, Hay Festival Digital. Click on it and it'll bring you to a programme of events, and it has over 80 talks on there. It started on the 18th of May, but the first few days are aimed at children and young people. So the adult talks start on the 22nd of May, so perfect timing. It's completely free to watch the talks, but you do need to book your virtual place on them. So yeah, have a look at that, see if any of the talks interest you. Lots of famous authors and celebrities doing talks on there. And if you've never had a chance to go to the Hay Festival, then this could be your opportunity to get a taster of it. Okay, and then the other festival I just wanted to mention was Get Creative Festival, which again, it happens each year. It's a festival around encouraging creativity, but they've moved online this year. So the website is getcreativeuk.com. And if you go there, you'll come to this homepage, and if you click at the top where it says activities, which I've tried to highlight, but it's only just coming up. What's happened is loads and loads of different organisations around the UK have loaded up their how-to guides and video guides for doing creative things. So if you go on there, you'll find a really long list of guides to doing creative activities. So if you're feeling like you want to learn something new, creative, and you're looking for a bit of inspiration, this could be a good place to start. We even have a few videos up there ourselves from Somerset Libraries. But yeah, so you might find that's a good place to find a new creative output for you, or a new talent that you never knew you had. Okay, so that brings my talk on learning to an end. I covered a lot of different websites there. There are even more websites than that covering really good learning content. But I hope that's given you something to start with and highlighted some resources that you never knew existed. So I would encourage you to go away, learn something new. Let us know if you've learned something. We'd love to hear. If you've created something new, send us a photo. If you have any questions about anything I've said, you can either comment on this video if you're watching on Facebook, or you can email us librariesmail@somerset.gov.uk. If you don't already follow us on social media, please do. All the different tags are up there now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Tomorrow is our last day and it's around the theme of giving. So yeah, go out, enjoy your Thursday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, bye.